Friends, welcome back to another video here at Healing Together. My name is Coach Hardgains. I've been coaching bodybuilding and current and recovering drug addiction for over 25 years now. I've seen a lot and I've been through a lot. And on top of that, I've been mentoring troubled youth for over 20 years. Now here at Healing Together, we focus a lot on Kratom because it's a product that I've been using personally for over 11 years. It's a product that I also use in my coaching program quite successfully for many people. Now, we've been getting a much larger audience internationally, but a lot of our new audience members seem to be of a younger age group. I've tried to clean up my language, less profanity, keep things a little more direct and concise and clear and understandable. But today I wanted to make a video that I want to direct to our younger viewers. We're seeing such a huge increase in drug use in younger people now. A lot of that has to do with the drugs coming in through an open border. There's no denying that. But drug use will always be a problem, always has been, but there's obviously a direct correlation between easy accessibility of these drugs and the users becoming younger and younger. So friends, I wanted to tell you something today about happiness. As a kid, you have so much internally, inside of you, that brings you joy, that brings you happiness. Of course, if there's a chemical imbalance already, someone suffering from depression or anxiety or trauma or a traumatized youth, that will be blocked in many ways to receive those feelings of joy and happiness and fulfillment. There are dopamine blockages, serotonin blockages. There are a lot of traumatic experiences that kids go through that keep them from being happy, especially today, now. The way that society is, the way that kids are becoming lost, don't know who they are, don't even know what they are. But here at Healing Together, we're finding that the calls and the messages, they're coming in from a much younger crowd. And this is so concerning. Now, I love what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do. I've been doing it for so long because it's fulfilling for me. I feel and I know that this is my life's calling. This is what I was called to do. And because I'm an empathetic father, I get tied very closely and emotionally to the people I work with. Not just the young people, but everyone. But when I'm working with someone who is young, it hits very close to home for me. Because typically, because I have a 21, 17, 14, 11, 8, and 6-year-old, a lot of the people that come to me are somewhere in the age range of one of my kids. Many of our regular viewers know that I don't sleep a whole lot. Part of that is because of my emotional tie to the people I work with. Because my brain is firing all the time. Because I'm ADHD. Because I have a brain injury. Because I have PTSD. Because I have nightmares frequently. But I've been finding that I'm losing more and more sleep lately. And a lot of that has to do with the younger users that are coming to us for help. Many of which have directly said things to me like, I can't talk to my dad. I can't talk to my mom. I can't talk to my friends. I have no one to talk to. I have no one that will understand. And I get things like, Coach, you're the only one that I feel like I can talk to. Coach, you're finally the only one that doesn't judge me. I feel like you don't look down on me. I get these statements so regularly, and it breaks my heart. And I'll say kids, but also mean young adults. But a lot of these younger kids are using drugs to find happiness instead of finding it within. Instead of looking through their life and processing their life because they haven't been taught to. They haven't been given the tools to go through experiences and still find joy and still find happiness. And when a drug or a substance is available to bring them immediate happiness, to bring them that warm blanket of serotonin and that spike of dopamine. And a lot of these kids also tell me things like my parents aren't around, or my dad's always working, or my mom doesn't like me, my mom doesn't care, my mom doesn't want to talk to me. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the things that I'm told from these younger kids. So there's a base level problem that needs to be addressed within each family or within each unit or each person. There's a base level problem that has to be addressed. And that's where I come in as a coach. we get to that base level problem. Now I can help process it and sort through it and sift through the feelings and get to certain outcomes, but I can't change the circumstances. I'm not the one at home with this kid. I can't go into the home and change their living situation. I wish I could. I wish I could buy an apartment building and have rooms just available for kids that needed help, the kids that needed support and guidance, but I can't do that. And hopefully someday I'll come across some type of investor who would like to go into a venture like that. It's not going to make any money, but it's going to be changing the lives of many. I've wanted to do that for a very long time, but many of you also know that I have full custody of my 5 kids under the age of 18. And that alone on a daily basis is like having an apartment full of kids that need attention. And I love it. I try to give them as much of my attention as I can, but unfortunately I also have to make money to support them because I'm doing that alone as well. But no complaints here. I'm grateful they're in my home, safe, sound, and protected. And I'll stop at nothing to keep it that way. But to you young viewers, guys, happiness is so important and vital to your life, to the success of your life, to every decision that we make in life. We make completely different decisions when we are happy versus when we are unhappy. Think of it this way. Many of you have already experienced the high of drug use. When you're on and you're high, you feel happy. You make different decisions. You see the world differently. You see people differently. You make choices differently. Well, that's the same if you had that internal happiness. The internal happiness affects how you make the decisions in your life, how you move forward through life. And sadly, we're finding so many young kids are depressed and anxious and alone. Sad. Well, is it a sad world that we live in right now? Yeah, it kind of is, isn't it? It's sad for a lot of us at any age. But young viewers, please, that happiness that comes from drug use is artificial. I know it feels good. I know you never want it to end. There was a point in my life, in my early usage of opioids, that I thought to myself, oh wow, I could live every day, all day like this. Let's do it. Sign me up. And later on in my life, a very good friend of mine said something that has stuck with me ever since. He said, no one gets to live their whole life high. There's always a price to pay, friends. One of the biggest reasons why people are so scared and hesitant to come off, to withdraw, to stop using, is because you lose that artificial happiness. You lose that artificial buzz and high. But then you always have to face real life again. It's like going backwards, starting from zero. In fact, it's worse. It takes you down to negative 100. Because not only do you have to start back over again, you lose the artificial happiness. Well, now your hormones, your neurotransmitters in your brain that control these feelings are now depleted, suffering, damaged, hurt, haywire, all messed up. So now it takes time, work, energy, and frankly, it can be very hellish to have to come out of that just to get back to zero. And I want to scare you a little bit and let you know that sometimes, for many people after heavy drug use for a prolonged period of time, they never get back to zero. Even when they come off, you can damage your brain, your neurotransmitters, your emotions, your hormones. You can damage them so much that they never return to a healthy state, to a state of normalcy. And what does that do? That causes relapse. That means that you go back to the drug. And then what happens is that drug doesn't do what it used to do, so you take more. And when that doesn't do what it used to do, you take different things. You take more things. You compound things. And I can't stress to you enough that sadly, that leads to a very, very terrible life. So your best option is to never start. Never start. Even if you think that you can control your drug use, even if you think that you can use recreationally or once a week or twice a week or just when you want to, most people who say that end up addicts because it's so hard to give up that good feeling when you already know that it can replace the bad feelings. And while you're young, your hormones are still developing, so they're changing. It can be a roller coaster. Your brain is still developing. Your neurotransmitters are still developing. Your brain and your heart, your emotions, your feelings, all of these things are still growing. So you might feel depressed one day, but it's never going to last forever. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. But the best thing to do is learn the tools to handle those bad days in the healthiest way to get through them so that you can look forward to the next good day. Healthy practices like exercise, working out, eating well, eating good foods, taking proper vitamins, going outside, being in the sun, getting off of screens, getting off your phone, getting off of video games, not looking at porn. All of these different things can lead to natural happiness. And here's what I want you to do. When you feel down or depressed or anxious or sad or lonely, I want you to go to that list of all those things that I just said that can bring natural happiness, bring joy, and pick one. Maybe you can't work out. Maybe you don't feel like working out. Maybe you don't have the energy or the health to work out. Go sit in the sun. Who cares how you look? Take your shirt off, go sit in the sun, and soak up the cosmic rays. Soak up that vitamin D. And if you continue to do that, that's going to teach your body and your brain that you internally, that means endogenously, you can find happiness on your own without substances, without exogenous help, outside help. Although I just said go outside and sit in the sun, so technically it's outside help. But friends, when you're young, you're still learning, right? And in fact, none of us should ever be done learning. We should be willing to learn our entire lives. Never think that you are too old or too smart, too wise for learning. Be willing to learn your entire life. I'm 45 and I still learn things every day. I love learning. I love getting new information. And when someone tells me something that I don't know or I didn't know, I don't pretend like I knew it. I say, wow, I didn't know that. That's great. Thanks. So learn to do that as well. The problem is society and TV and social media. They're teaching you and even encouraging you to go do different things to try to find happiness, to make yourself happy. Things that you shouldn't be doing. There's outlets that are encouraging kids to look at porn. Kids are being encouraged to have sex changes when they don't even know who they are inside. How do they know who they are outside? We're jumping from the process and getting to these points. And guys, I want you to understand something. Everything that they are trying to have you do, tell you to do, makes them more money. It's not about you finding happiness to them. They don't care. They don't want you to be happy. They want you to go watch porn. It makes them money. They want you to have a sex change. It makes them money. They want you to get hooked on a drug. It makes them money. They want you to go get pharmaceutical drugs. They want you on prescriptions. It makes them money. So stop feeding into those that are making money off of your sadness. I want you to be happy. I want you to find happiness and joy inside. I want you to find happiness and joy from the relationships you have with people, from doing something that you enjoy, doing something fun, doing something that you're passionate about. Do you know that one of the greatest ways to find joy and happiness is by learning a new hobby and finding out, hey, I really love this. You may not even be that good. It doesn't matter. But kids are so hard on themselves because they feel like they have to be perfect because social media is this display of perfection from everyone. Friends, remember, that's just their display. That's not who they really are. They go through all the same things that you're going through. They go through all the same things that we're going through. They're just putting the best parts out for you to see. So don't be jealous of their lives because it's most likely not their real life anyway. There's nothing to be jealous of. And jealousy will destroy your self-worth. Because none of us is the same. We're so different. We can't compare ourselves to other people. We just have to try to be the best version of ourselves. And on the other side of things, there's so many parents that are encouraging kids to change who they are, what they are, instead of helping a child find who they already are inside. Develop who they are. Help them, lead them, guide them, rather than redirecting them to a different path. You are not doing your child any good by helping them change who they are. You are doing them the most good when you help them learn who they are and then give them the tools to develop the best version of who they are. No one is so bad or wrong that they need to change who they are. That's saying that who you are is a mistake, but it's not. Who you are is not a mistake. You don't need to change who you are. You'll still be the same person inside with the same feelings, the same emotions, the same struggles, the same depression, the same anxiety. Let's teach them to get through those negative feelings, those hard feelings. And before you go changing anything about yourself on the outside, ask yourself, have you done the work on the inside? When you're sad, have you figured out why you're sad? When you're depressed, have you figured out what's causing you to be depressed? Have you then found something that makes you happy? Have you tried all of the different things that life has to offer to make yourself happy, to become happy? Because like I said before, when you just go and jump to change your outside, your internal feelings are still the same. And you still have to figure out how to deal with them. And sadly, I really think that a lot of times parents don't want to put in the work and the effort and the time into sitting down with their child over and over, repeatedly, and talking and helping them find out what's wrong, what's making them sad, what's making them anxious or depressed. That's a process, and it takes time and work. And having 6 kids, I can tell you that it is exhausting, yes. But that's what needs to be done, and that's what they deserve. The easy way out is by putting them into a system, throwing them to a doctor, putting them on a medication, telling them to go change what they are on the outside. That doesn't require work from the parents. And let's call it what it is. That's the easy way out. Because it still never handles the cause of the sadness or those hard emotions. And friends, we've got a problem. We've got a true epidemic. It's sadness. It's people walking through life sad. That sadness can be depression, anxiety, anger, but it culminates into these feelings of sadness. And when people go through life sad, they make different decisions, they treat others differently, they treat themselves differently, and ultimately, many of them become stuck in those sad feelings. And I understand that not every parent has the tools to give this to their children or has the time. There are a lot of parents that are working so hard to support their family and give their kids everything they need, especially in this horrible, horrible economy in the United States. That is what people like me are here for. That is what coaches like me are here to do. I have a lot of people that I work with where the parents would love nothing more than to devote this time to their child. But they can't because they have to make money, because their bills have gone up, because the expenses and the cost of living have skyrocketed. And maybe even it's a parent who's also depressed or sad or anxious or angry or going through their own trauma or their own hardships. And so a lot of those parents come to me and say, I don't know what to do. I can't handle this. We need your help. And that's when I get involved. And believe it or not, that's actually one of the best things that that parent can do for their child, is to get a third party involved who can actually help get to the core root, rather than taking that child and putting them into the system and saying, well, let's just change you. Why do you have to change that child? They're good enough the way they are. They're perfect the way they are. We just have to help them get through it. We just have to help them figure that out. And who they are is enough. So friends, that's today's message. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and help our community grow. I'd appreciate it greatly if you would share this message with your friends and family and anyone who could benefit from it. And maybe this is even a good way to kind of breach a topic with someone that you know is struggling. Just say, hey, I watched this great video. Hey, take a look. Send it to them. Because a lot of the times it's easier for us to just casually send them a video on YouTube to watch. That's pretty normal. Rather than reaching out to them and saying, hey, what's wrong? Are you okay? What's going on? Talk to me. Maybe that's just not something that many people are comfortable doing. But most people have no problem forwarding a video from YouTube. Forward the video. Get the message out. And let's save our children. Thanks for watching another video, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.
Let's deal with the